Hi, Kendi. Welcome to Diary of a Nutritionist.
Thank you, Karen. Happy to be here.
So, tell us about
My
yourself.
name is Kendi. I am a licensed clinical nutritionist. I've been in practice for about 5 years now. I am a mother to one daughter. I think you can see her on somewhere over here. And should I also say wife to one? But yeah,
Yes.
that's basically
Journey in nutrition. What do you do? How did you start? What made you do it?
okay. Wow, the journey. How did the journey begin? I don't think it was a career path that I really thought about, growing up and all that. But at some point in high school, I got really interested in the sciences, which is biology, chemistry, and all of that. And then I think when it came to time to choose courses, nutrition was like the second course I picked. The first course was medicine. Surprise, surprise, here we are. And so far, not a choice that I regret making. Though at some point during the journey I did regret getting into nutrition. But at the moment I think I am happy to be in this field. The journey so far is I did my degree in the University of Nairobi, graduated in 2018. After that, I did the usual Kendi internship for a year. I did that in Kwale. So then I finished that and got my first job. Actually, almost immediately after I finished my internship, I got my first job at Diani Beach Hospital. And I worked with them for a year. Yeah, for a year. For a year, I worked with them. That was a lot. I think I don't feel like the hospital really understood what the role of a nutritionist in particular was at the time, because I found myself doing a lot more of like catering work other than the clinical nutrition side of it, which is what I thought I'd be doing. But I think I was sort of like a caterer also for the hospital, but it was still a good experience. I learned quite a lot on just how to run a nutrition department, how to implement different policies, and even just to work in a clinical setting in a proper hospital with all the facilities. So that was it was a good time for me to also learn quite a lot. And then after that, what happened? After that, I left. I had my daughter sometime in towards the end of 2019, and then since then I took a bit of a break from nutrition work and got into other things. But then I've been able to come back and started doing nutrition by Kendi, which is what I'm doing up to now. I think most of my work revolves around just providing personalized nutrition solutions for my clients. So that ranges from the clinical nutrition side of it, where you have management of different conditions. You go diabetics, hypertensives, kidney disease, diseases of the digestive system. So you have like GERD, you have peptic ulcers and all that. And then we also have now what has become the sort of the popular side of nutrition, so to speak, which is the weight loss management. So we also do a lot of that. And then also I am in partnership with a home health care company. So I also do nutrition care for the elderly and for the sick at home patients. They're not sick to be in a hospital, but they're also not well enough to be home without the care of a skilled nurse and a nutritionist to monitor their meals and all of that. So I think that's what Nutrition by Kendi is about currently. We also do a lot of CSR in the community, giving health talks and health checks at different stations and all of that. So that is where we are. That is basically my journey as a nutritionist.
Okay. You mentioned when you began that there's a point you quit or wanted to quit nutrition. So
Yes.
what's the story there?
wanted to quit nutrition. Well, that was let me say 2020, just when COVID hit, and a bit of 2021 also, because I was just in this space where, okay, so I had my first job, went well, left it after a year to have my baby because I needed to be in a different geographical location and all of that. And then after that, now trying to get back into the business, into the job world, and I'm not getting any opportunities. There are no, even just conversations, like prospective jobs, and talking to my colleagues and people we went to school with, and no one seems to be getting any work, or the ones that are getting are truly, truly underpaid to the point where you're like, okay. Like, for instance, there's an interview I got. It was for an organization somewhere in Eldoret. Great. I live at the coast right now. The organization was in Eldoret. They were paying me 26,000. For me, it was just like, okay, does that justify the cost of me relocating with my daughter and everything, going all the way to Eldoret for this amount of money and for a full-time position? So I was just like, it was a whole 2 years of trying to get back in the job market without any success. And at some point I was just like, maybe it's not worth it. So that's when I got into a few other things. But I think with time, I have been able to, sort of start finding my space in the nutrition field. And I think it has a lot to offer. We just, like maybe what you're doing, and if we could all come together and have these conversations, I think it would be very key to empowering the other younger nutritionists who are coming up to find their voice, and also to find like alternate career paths, but in nutrition, to know that you don't have to be sitting in a hospital. There's other things you can do, because there is a lot to do in nutrition. Okay. That's how I feel, yeah.
It's good that you mentioned that, because I was in a conversation with another nutritionist, and she was telling me how she and there are a bunch of 4 who, when they were going through their internship with Kendi, they were taken through an extra set of courses that they're calling it diet therapy. Essence is equivalent to functional medicine when you look at it in a broader spectrum. And she was telling me how she has been struggling, especially with other nutritionists, to get them to understand that what she does, because they were taught how to use different herbs, different nutraceuticals in management of conditions. So she would come mtu wa mitishamba, for lack of a better word. And her problem has become that now the issue is not even people outside of the nutrition world, it's nutritionists ourselves making life harder for people who would want to practice. So what you say has been your experience working with other nutritionists?
Oh, wow. Well, not to mention names, but that question just completely took me back to just a few months ago, and there's a nutritionist online who, who is like someone to talk about in the nutrition field, so to speak. And we were having a conversation, and she wanted a collaboration in a book that she was writing, and I was like, yeah, I'm willing to do this. She wrote me what she would want me to do, and I was like, yeah, I'm happy to do this and this for you. But then when I asked for payment, she was like, but I'm paying you in exposure. So I'm like, you're paying me in exposure? You're gonna sell the book. You're not giving away the book for free for exposure, right? Yeah. You're going to pay me in exposure. It doesn't make any sense. And then compare that to another doctor I worked with, and she was doing just a small booklet for healthy living, and she needed me to do some work for her, and I did that, some recipes, and just actually a bit about diet therapy and all of that. I did it for her, and she was more than happy to pay me for the work, and also mention me in her book and put my profile in her book. So I was just like, it's not making sense. You are in the field. You more than anyone know the challenges that we are facing as nutritionists to even get our names out there, get our work out there. and you want to pay me in exposure. So that was just like, anyway, well, right. Looking back, I'm like, it's okay. I mean, we live to learn, but I haven't worked with so many nutritionists, so to speak, because I think when I was at the hospital, we were just a team of two, and it was really great working with Veronica. She was excellent. We made a good team. Other than that, in the field, let's see what collaborations are coming up. Let's see what collaborations are coming up. I believe that as I continue to sort of grow the company, I'm going to be collaborating with more nutritionists. So let's see.
So, you mentioned some of the things that you do,
Mhm.
working with the home care nursing and
Yes.
having just general nutrition care.
Yes.
What would you say is unique to nutrition by Kendi, and the thing that is your niche?
Okay. Let's see. It's I think it's been a journey. When I first started, I thought, I'd go straight into what has more people talking about right now, which is, weight loss, getting fit, or, getting that body and all of that. And I thought that's the main direction that I was going to take, because at the end of the day, let's be honest, in that field is money right now,
Yeah, it's
a lot of people are
lucrative.
talking about
Yeah.
it. It's lucrative right now. But then as we continue to grow, I'm finding myself a lot more in the home-based care field, a lot more, in that it's just to see the kind of impact you're making in these people's lives, because you have someone who, they're at home, their children are far away. So maybe like you have living at the coast, you get a lot of retirees from abroad who've come to live here. So it's gotten to his older ages. They don't have their family here to take care of them. But then now you see that point where we come in as a home care organization. We have a skilled nurse who's taking care of them. Then I'm doing their diet. You see them starting to gain weight. You see their skin starting to get better. You see the wounds starting to heal just based on the therapies that you're giving them. And really it's been something that has sort of like taken over, and I'm so grateful to be working in that field. I think that's the direction we are in currently. Not to say that we are not doing everything else, but this is the direction that we are in currently. Yeah.
As a personal opinion, I feel like when you branch out and do too many things, at some
Mhm.
point, you become like everyone else. So
Yes.
there's no reason anyone is going to recommend you because I know this person is good at something. But then when you niche out, it helps people
Hmm.
to know when I have a geriatric, I want them to be
Yeah.
taken care of, or I have a palliative care issue, I know this
Yes.
person from recommendations. And then also in our
Yes.
field, we mostly grow by word of mouth. So if a patient
Yes.
likes what the services they get, then they will refer you to another person. And then I realize when you
Yes.
have too many things that are going on, it is hard for you to, because you see, at the end of the day, our field is knowledge based. You have to have knowledge
Yes.
about managing a condition.
What
So
you're doing.
having
Yes.
knowledge about taking care of kids or people across their nutrition lifespan, and then taking care of geriatrics or taking care of specific conditions, um, sometimes it becomes too much for you to be good at, so that you can
To be good
really
at.
really
Yes.
hone. Yeah. So I feel like you are on the right track. After all, in our area, Diani, that is a market that hasn't been touched by largely anyone, and
Yeah.
they are it is a need that is existing, and maybe for all you know, moving forward, you can create a space that will cause people to want to make, because I believe when I look at Diani, I think like it could be an ideal place to have home care centers, a lot of them, because the
Yes.
weather
I
is
think so.
perfect.
The weather is perfect. The biggest population is people who have come here to retire and they're in their
Yeah,
old ages.
yeah,
But I will say that it's in the works.
yes.
It's in the works. It's in the works. We are just trying to get a proper space that would, serve that purpose. But it's in the works.
That is nice. That is nice to hear. I like that the first nutritionist I had a session with was running. She's running an organic nutritionist. The other one is working in diet therapy, and then now there's you who's working with geriatrics. I'm enjoying to see that everyone is. After some time in the field, you start to realize there's space for me, and you create that space, and you start to create your own personal voice. So what would you say has been your challenge, your greatest challenge so far?
Oh, I want to say money.
Yeah. Let's talk money. Yeah.
I mean, and here's the thing with, or maybe it's a personal thing for me, but I think with service-oriented sector, the service-oriented sector, and knowledge. It's not a product that I'm selling to you. I'm not giving to you nutrition as this pencil. Here it is. Take it home with you. It's knowledge that I am passing on to you. One, it creates a bit of a challenge in pricing yourself. So it's the question of, but am I charging too much for my services? But then when you think about it, with the training that you have and the value that you're offering to this client, yes, I do deserve to be charging that much. But then,
and the work that goes into taking care of that patient, because it is a tailor-made
follow-up. It's about you as a patient. So to get the patients and the clients to understand that and be willing to, because most of the time they are able, they're just not willing to pay for the service, So I think that's one of the challenges that I am facing. But other than that, I think as a country also we do need to put ourselves at the forefront of these conversations about nutrition and health. Because look at the UK, they have the NHS. Look at the US, they have the American what is it called? American what? Dietitians, clinics. They have also they have guidelines for nutrition for their populations, like what foods they recommend for their populations in certain ages and all of this. There is so much structure and so much cohesion and just doing things and having conversations in the nutrition sector. So I think these are things that we need to, I wished Kendi would be the sort of the organization to do this for us, but I also think that we need to start having these conversations, start having, putting out these publications about nutrition. I don't need to quote something that a study on Kenyan somewhere. They've never probably been to Kenya. They don't know indigenous foods, even our body composition and all of that, because it's different for different ethnicities. If we would have publications for people in our field and in our country, a forum to be involved in these conversations globally, I think that would go a long way in showing even the young and coming up nutritionists that there is space for you, and you can, it's a space that you can get into. And also for us as encouragement, if I saw my work published on a global journal somewhere, I'd be like,
it gives you motivation to keep going.
Yeah, kabisa. Okay. Yeah, I think those two areas, yes.
So just as a side, I've been toying with the idea of technology in healthcare. And I've been thinking about nutrition in how can we be able to leverage, is it something we can be able to work on it, to leverage on technology? Because as the world is moving, it's moving towards a point where people won't be, people are not reading books as much as they were. And people are consuming more digital knowledge. So is there a way, or do you think that is the way we should be headed? And if so, do you have any thoughts on the idea?
Well, for sure, technology is the only way to go. One post on social media has the possibility to reach millions, if not billions of people. For a small page, maybe it might not, but it has the potential to reach billions of people putting yourself, having a website, again, it has the potential to reach millions and millions of people. So I think technology is definitely a way to go. And then also now making it work for us. If it's developing apps, I mean, why am I using apps developed
outside of
in
Kenya?
other, yeah, outside of Kenya? I mean, we have the capacity to do this. So I think technology is definitely the way to go in this day and age. And I look forward to seeing, what you do with it and taking
You
part.
mentioned people like Kendi, and you considering they're the ones who have been mandated by Parliament. It's an act of Parliament that mandated
Yeah.
their existence.
Yeah.
You think there's more that can be done by them in terms of regulating the nutrition sphere, and if so, there's something that can be done. What do you think they should do? Yeah.
I think they should do. Well, first and foremost, I will say there is still a lot that they can do in the nutrition field. I don't think that as a country or even as an organization they are there yet, where they can say, what, we've done everything there is to be done. There is a lot more to do in terms of, like empowering the young up and coming nutritionists who are in school. I look back to when I was in college, and the only thing I heard about KNDI is, oh, you need to pay 15,000 to this organization so that you can get the index. Is it the index card?
Yeah.
That's all I knew about it. I didn't know what they were about, how they would, help me in my career, or how, anything. I just knew I needed to pay this amount to get the card. And if I didn't have the card, I would not do exams or something, or I can't practice. So that's all I knew about it. So I think just putting more conversations, like I said, about nutrition. I think if they could reach out to the up and coming ones, the ones in school, and for us who are practicing, to empower us more to practice. If I come to them, I want to set up my practice, they empower me to do it, not to just, okay, here is your paper, you've paid for it, that's it, it's done, you go and practice, to empower us and to just empower us to be able to practice in
So
this
if
field.
you were asked who has the ability to make the nutrition scene in Kenya and even in Africa better than it is right now, who would you say that responsibility falls on?
It falls on us. I mean, there's no one who's going to do it for us. We have to put our voices out there and be heard. I mean, if we want the government has the ability to make the changes, but if we want them to hear us, we have to put our voices out there. We have to start the conversation so that they can hear us, and in turn, work towards helping us and let our agenda be heard out there. Because, like you said, there's so much false information and false beliefs in nutritionists. We're believed to be either cooks. Like I said, I was believed to be a caterer, into a miti shamba, or the only thing we do is helping people lose weight and having, nice bodies. But there's a lot more involved in nutrition, There's a lot more. So I think it's us. We have that mandate, and by working together, that's why I wish Kendi did a better job at bringing us together as nutritionists. Instead of me randomly practicing Uko, another person Uko, everyone just randomly just doing their own things, they could just bring us together. Then I believe that together we can be able to have a voice in the field, and to the government to help us,
standardize things. Actually,
yes,
I feel like
yeah.
a thing also that is a problem for us is anyone can do anything and get away with it.
Anyone can do anything. Anyone can set up an online profile. Anyone can open a clinic and say they're doing nutritionist stuff, and then when you enter in there, they're selling miti shamba in a brown bottle. I mean,
so as we are winding up, if someone wanted to find Nutrition by Kendi, where can they go to access services from you? Share
my contacts and email.
Okay.
Yes. online. Our website should be live to share my contact and our email address. In terms of physical location, anyone in Kwale County, just walk into Prima Healthcare and ask to book a session with Nutrition by Kendi. You will get access to it.
Aside from the conversation we're having, now this is on a personal note. I am very invested in palliative care, especially here in Kwale County. I'm trying to push that agenda to a point where we have gotten to the county department, trying to help them implement the palliative care policy here in Kwale. So we are looking for people who are working in that space, trying to collaborate with them, because we have realized for you to get government to do anything with you, you have to have a voice that is big. You have to have a following of different people. So considering the fact that you're already kind of working in that space, is it something that you would be interested in joining in?
Yes, definitely. Yes, I actually a few months ago I was in Sambo meeting with her. She actually showed me the center. I believe the building was already done, but it was just not kitted yet.
Yes.
Yeah. So we began the conversation at the time, but we haven't really picked it up. But we did begin the conversation. And yes, it's something I would definitely like to be involved in. So as part of CSR with the cerebral palsy, yes, I know you're taking part in that.
Yes.
Yes, that's also something I would be more than happy to get involved.
So essentially, as we are right now, as far as we have gotten is we are trying to mobilize support to be able to do trainings for healthcare workers on palliative care so that it can go out. But other than that, we're trying to consolidate every other service provider that is offering palliative care services, so that when the demand rises, because right now we are trying to create demand, so when the demand comes, a whole portfolio of healthcare workers who are working in palliative care within Kwale County, that we can start telling our patients waache kutafuta hizi services outside of Kwale County, they are available right here. So this is a welcome move, and aside from my bias, I would really encourage you to just, if you can niche out and focus on the geriatrics, I feel like that is something that it is a whole that no one there's people who are just trying their hand at working with mommy and me. There's people who are trying their hand working on weight loss and sports and nutrition. And for geriatrics, it's like we have neglected our older generation.
Kabisa, it's not something that you hear a lot of conversation about, and I am grateful to be in the space.
Yeah. As you continue to gather more information and expertise in practice, I look forward to having conversations about it with you. Congratulations on your new steps, setting up the website. All the very best. I pray you succeed. I really pray you succeed.
Amen.
Okay. Thank you for your time. We will catch you on the next one.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to watching this and the previous. I think it's only one I haven't watched, the diet therapist one. So I look forward to watching all of that and a lot more content from you. I think this is a great initiative. I am super proud of you, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hiya. Kwaheri.
Kwaheri.